Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in this crazy world we're living in. And everything's been really crazy today. It's been a very crazy day. It's still a little bit crazy, to be honest. You might be able to hear the big dog barking. Hello, Riley. Riley's come up to say hello. Oh, what a chaotic! Shh! What a chaotic day. What a chaotic day. So, yeah. So I set up the stream this morning. I'm so sorry to people who were waiting for the stream this morning. I'm so sorry. I set up the stream because I was only supposed to be popping out to a garage just to get a price. And I thought to book in to get, I'd taken my car for its ITV, which is like the MOT, and it had failed it. And I needed two new tyres and the headlamps polishing. And that was yesterday morning. God, it feels like a lifetime ago now. It was only yesterday morning. So I was, I tried a few garages and whatever. Anyway, and I was working out, what it's like when you take your car to the garage and you've got to work out how to get home. So I was trying to find a garage that would be, anyway, I won't even go into all that. Thing is, sometimes here in Spain, you take your car to a garage, they say it'll be ready by 2. You organise your day around it, and then they're not ready, and then you have to go back at 6 or whatever. So it took a lot of, I was trying to sort of organise it. Go to a garage, who I thought would be the most reliable, like for the times that they gave me, because, I have to fit it around work, blah, de, blah, de, blah. Anyway, when you have an ITV or an MOT here in Spain, sorry, I'm just going to bore you with this now before I start the actual stream. You've got 2 months to get everything sort of, whatever it is they find that's wrong with it, you do have a sort of grace period of 2 months to get it sorted, whatever it is. And you're not supposed to drive the car in between that, except if it's to go to a garage and get whatever it is that it's failed on sorted. So I knew I had 2 months, so I could have sort of left it till after Christmas, but technically I wouldn't have been able to drive the car. Obviously, I probably would have driven it, but you're not supposed to. It's illegal, so that'd be just my luck, something to happen. Well, I'm not supposed to be driving it anyway. So I thought, right, I'll go to this garage. I went to a British garage. I tried a Spanish garage, who I know are very good, but they just take such a long time over everything. And they're also quite a long way away from where I live. So it was a question of what would I do? They wanted the car for like 5 hours. Something, well, what, I couldn't come home. It's too far, so what would I do? And I asked my friend to take me, and they were already planned something. It was all complicated. So I ended up contacting this British garage, and they said, oh, come tomorrow. This was on Thursday. Come in tomorrow and we'll have a look and we'll give you a price, see what tyres you need. We'll give you a price, blah, de, blah, de, blah. So that's what I thought I was going for. I just thought I was going to the garage to show them the car, show them what I needed doing. They could find which tyres it was needed. And often when you need new tyres, depending on if it's not an actual tyre fitting garage, they don't just have tyres in it. Sometimes they have to order them. They don't get them to the next day. So I really wasn't expecting to actually have the work done. So I went to this garage. They looked at it. They gave me a price, which was nearly €200, same price as the other garage had given me. And they said, oh, we've got the tyres in. Do you want us to do it now? So I said, well, how long will it take? Because, again, it wasn't near enough for me to come home. And they said, oh, it'll be about an hour. It was only an hour. So I said, oh, yeah, okay then. So, so then I went for a coffee while they were doing the tyres and polishing the headlamps. I tried to change my StreamYard change the actual time that the stream was starting, because then I thought, well, I'll go straight to the ITV centre then and get the retest. Because also, if you have the retest the same day or the following day or not very long after, I was researching it, often they don't charge you for a retest. Whereas if you leave it too long, they will charge you then for a retest, because they have to do a whole retest, because it's been quite a while since you had it tested and something might have changed. Whereas if you go the same day or the next day, it's not likely that anything's changed apart from the things you've got to have fixed. And you have to get the garage to fill out the form to say, yes, they fixed it, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, I tried to get on my StreamYard. I didn't have my password. Well, I had my password, but you have the authentication that they send, the 2-step authentication. And I know that's really good, but I didn't have that phone with me that they send that to. And so I couldn't change the time of the stream. So I thought, I've just got to go and do this. And then I put the message on to say that I'd be late. But I didn't know what time. Anyway, by the time they'd finished, and also everything's miles away from each other. So where I went to the garage is one direction. And then where I went to the ITV centre, I had to come back practically past my house and then go out another 40 minutes drive, 30 minutes drive. So it was a lot of driving. And then on the way home from the ITV centre, because I've not been there for so long, years really, I tried to come I came back a different way and thought it'd be quicker. And then I took a wrong turn in and ended up not lost, because I knew where I was, but coming back a really long way instead of a short way back. So it took me ages. So I didn't get back till after 1 o'clock, did I, Spanish time, by which time I was starving. I was tired. And I just thought, I can't do this stream now, because, I like to be at least a little bit compos mentis when I do a stream, not to be too tired when I'm talking about cases and, people's tragedies in their lives. So, so it was one of them days. So I had my lunch, I've had a nap. Then I just had to wait a little bit longer because number one son is working tonight, and he was getting a lift from another person who works there. But I just had to wait just to make sure that his lift had turned up, because otherwise I'd be in the middle of a stream and then there'd be a big palaver of him coming in and saying, I've got to get to work. Do you know what? It's just really has been a bit one of those days, but good, because it's sorted. So when I went back to the ITV station, they were very good. They just, I didn't have to pay it for the retest. They just tested they had a look at the tyres, the new tyres, and they tested the headlights that had been polished. But they probably ran WD-40 over it, like people you suggested, David, charged me €40. But anyway, I'll know that next time. Next time I go for an ITV, I will make sure, which it won't be till next year, I will make sure the headlights have been polished before I go. I didn't even know you had to polish your headlights. Anyway, it just, that was fine. Nothing, thank you, adios. It was, and so it all turned out okay. So my car is legal now again. I am legal to drive it again. Yay. It's got new tyres. It feels different, I've got to say. Didn't realise the tyres were going or whatever. They found that the tread wasn't too clever or whatever. Just feel different when I'm driving it now. So it just shows you, doesn't it? Anyway, it's all done now. It's all done. So thank you for your patience. So sorry for those that were hanging around this morning. I just couldn't do anything because I wasn't in the house and I didn't have my StreamYard, password type things with me to actually change the time of the stream. So I had to just put the message on. Anyway, it's done now. So cheers. I've got a cup of coffee. I'm trying to wake up now after my siesta. So, thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you to all my members. Thank you to everybody who likes my videos. Thank you to anyone who sent me a Ko-fi, bought me a Ko-fi, sent me a super sticker, PayPal me, emailed me. Thank you for all your support, all your nice messages. Thank you so much. And we're going to look now. It was going to be 4 updates, but I forgot about the Jay Slater update that I wanted to do. Just about the I did talk about it last night in the members live, but then I realized I haven't talked about it in a non-members live, if you like, so I added that on. So we're going to talk about 5 things. Okay, where are we? What we're going to talk about first? I've got a list here. So I think we'll talk about Jay Slater first, because that was the last thing that I've added to this. I'll say hello to everyone first. Poor things. Yeah, I can see. So I'm going to say hello to the people that were on this morning as well. Hi, who maybe aren't on now. Hi, Laurie. Hi, Lorna. Hi, David. Hi, Angel. Oh. Yeah, there was a big steward's inquiry as to where I was, I suppose. Oh, coming back with a whole brand new car, yeah, it felt like it. Is Vicky on her way? Yeah, there was a lot. It's nice that everyone was worried about me. Oh, my dogs went absolutely mad. That's how long I was gone for, because I was gone over 3 hours. That's unusual for me to leave the house for 3 hours. And normally my dogs, they don't get separation anxiety. In fact, if anyone gets separation anxiety, it's me, because I would have taken the dogs, but I couldn't take them because, obviously the car I didn't know what was going to be happening with the car. And I was thinking, if I have to wait like a couple of hours, or if I have to go all the way to the IV, I just didn't know what was going to happen. And to be honest, I only thought I was going to be half an hour just going and coming back. It just didn't occur to me to take the dogs with me, but normally I do take the dogs with me. So they just went mad when I came in. It was like, normally I'd say it's me who gets separation anxiety, but they were really glad to see me. I think they were really worried. So sorry, I've got sidetracked again. Hi, another Laurie. Hi. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Nightbot. Is Nightbot chatting to us? Okay. Let me put it. I'm going to take Nightbot off, actually. So we're going to talk about Jay Slater, and really the only thing that we're going to say about Jay Slater is, so the news yesterday was that his mum, Debbie, said that she's terminated the GoFundMe. I don't know. I know she's put a sort of a message up there, so she might have left it up while people read the message. Let's read it. GoFundMe. So, of course, the GoFundMe was, right, for those of you who don't know, Jay Slater, he was, of course, the young lad, 19 years old, who was on holiday in Tenerife, and he went missing, didn't he? There's a little bit of controversy about why he went to the Airbnb that he went to, with Ayub and Rocky, and there's a few people a little bit concerned at that. Some people still think there was some foul play maybe involved in Jay's disappearance. Personally, I don't think so, but a lot of people do, and really what matters what his family thinks. But the thing that seemed to really get to people was the fact that there was a GoFundMe, and it raised quite a lot of money, and a lot of people got a little bit arsy about it, as if it's anything to do with them. It's absolutely nothing to do with them. And Debbie's his mum, who'd lost her son, got a load of stick for it. I mean, really nasty trolling through it. I mean, real horrible trolling. And the only thing I would say, if you want to swap your son for £72,000, well, would you? It's just like, I hope that money eased the pain for Debbie, in the sense of she didn't have to worry, or the family didn't have to worry about any expenses about bringing the body home, the funeral, etc. And maybe she's got money left over, and I hope she does something nice with it. She deserves something nice after what she's been through. The thought of losing your child is bad enough, but having to go off to a foreign country and deal with all that bureaucracy in a foreign language, and also in the meantime everybody calling you names and saying horrible things about you, as well as grieving your son, it's just awful, isn't it? So here you go. The organizer so the amount raised was £72,821. The organizer has disabled new donations to this fundraiser at the moment. So people were still donating. Obviously, it slowed down. The last donation was 15 days ago. And let's see the last. So this is the last message that Debbie has put up there. We would like to thank all of you beautiful people who supported us throughout this heartbreaking time. Jay really did touch the hearts of the nation, and it truly showed us how much love you all shared with us. With your support, we were able to stay in Tenerife until we got our beautiful boy. Gosh, sorry, it does upset me a bit, this. Until we got our beautiful boy back to the UK, we were able to fund the Sydney search team from the Netherlands, who supported us throughout the days when Jay was found. Jay truly deserved the send-off we were able to give him, and we thank you all for that. And we watched the funeral, didn't we? It was a beautiful funeral. We've been overwhelmed with messages of support from all over the globe, and we will be eternally grateful to all of you. Our journey of trauma and grief will continue forever, and we will never recover. I think this is it. We have to remember this every day that Debbie wakes up, because Jay lived with Debbie as well. Every day she wakes up, she knows that her son isn't there. It's probably like, any of you who've ever suffered a bereavement, that's how it feels, isn't it? When you wake up, first of all, it's like it's not real, and then you remember that it is real. That goes on for a long, long time. And this, it's not even been a year, has it? It's been 6 months probably. That will go on for a long, long time yet. This sense of surrealism that you can't believe it's happened. So, Debbie now will be just getting on with normal life, whatever that is. We lost our beautiful boy in extremely tragic circumstances. Whilst the world watched, we do not and never will understand how Jay's story reached every corner of the globe. Our journey is far from over, but the burden's eased with your support. Yeah, and the thing is, because, nothing can bring Jay back, but, if you've got to worry about money at the same time that you're worrying about, finding your son and funerals, and, at least if you don't have to worry about money, that's, what's the word? It's just one thing that you don't have to worry about. Whatever the case, whatever tragedy you're going through, it's harder if you've got to worry about economics as well. So, I'm glad she had that. I'm glad they all had that. We would also like to thank the person who looked after Jay's fundraiser page, whom we have been in constant contact with, especially whilst in Tenerife. The support and advice you gave will not be forgotten. Donations will be turned off with this final message. Jay's family and friends are coming to terms and process this tragic loss. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And this comment from a beautiful donor sticks in our minds. So I will share. We outnumber the trolls significantly. When love versus hatred, love triumphs. All you need is love. God bless you all. Jay's loving family and friends. So there you go. So that's sort of the end of one thing, but as it's not the end of Debbie and the family and friends' suffering, is it? It's not the end of their suffering. Their suffering is continuing. It'll never end. But that's the end of the saga of the fundraiser, hopefully. And I hope people who said nasty things, even YouTubers and TikTokers who made money out of it but said horrible things, weren't even supportive. You know, some, just beyond belief, really, that people could pick on a grieving mother like that. I just beyond me. It's absolutely beyond me. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself. So that's the first thing we're going to look at. Right. Next thing we're going to look at, I should have put a little picture. Let's have a little look at Jay, actually, just before I finish. I'm sure we haven't forgotten Jay. Hello. Oh, this bloody dog. He's always got to have a little photobomb, haven't you? You've always got to have a little photobomb. So what have I done with my photo, Jay? I'm sure you all remember what he looks like. Very handsome boy, always smiling. You know, there was all those bad things said about him because he did have he had some issues in his past, like lots of young people do. But at the end of the day, this boy, he's not with us anymore, and we've got to be respectful. He'd sorted his life out. He was working. Everyone's, seems to agree that he was a really nice lad. I don't know why I can't find my picture of him. I've got loads of pictures of him. Let's see. Be up here, will it? And yeah, none of us are perfect. Oh, there he is. Is it? No. God, I swear I've got poltergeist on this computer because whenever I'm looking, there they are. Hang on. Whenever I'm looking for things on this computer, I find everything that I'm not looking for, and I can't find what I'm looking for. But later, when I'm looking for something else, I'll find all my pictures of Jay. But anyway, this was a lovely picture. This is a painting that somebody did of him, and I think it just captures him so nicely because, he was a handsome boy, nice smile, and he's forever 19. He'll always be remembered like that. So Debbie won't get to see him, get married, have grandchildren, etc. She has another son, doesn't she, Zach? And she does have grandchildren. Well, thank God for that. She has grandchildren with Zach. So at least she still has a family, but it still won't replace Jay, who lived with her. He was her baby. Okay, so now what we're going to update on is JoJo Dullard. Now, this is a case that I talked to you about. This is an Irish case. Let's see. So I've probably lost, I seem to have lost all my pictures today. But anyway, I like to put a picture up in the corner when I'm talking to somebody. But see, it only lets you sort of store so many, and I may have taken JoJo's off there because maybe it was telling me I had too many pictures when I was talking about somebody else. So I need to find it again and put it up. There it is. So as I say, this is an unsolved case from Ireland that one of my chatters wrote to me about to tell me that although this is an old case, really quite an old case, there's movement in it at the moment because it's thought that they are digging up where they think that JoJo is coming home from a dance, coming home from a night out in Ireland. And, well, we'll read about exactly where it was, etc. And I think she missed her last bus home, and so she was hitchhiking a lift home, and she spoke to her friend from a phone box, and she said to her friend that someone had stopped to pick her up, and that was the last that JoJo was ever heard of. She never arrived home, and it was thought, eventually it was determined that they thought JoJo had been, whoever had picked JoJo up from that bus stop, from that phone box, has likely had done something to JoJo. So let's have a look. But there's been some developments in this case. And the Gardaí in Ireland, they're digging up an area. They also did arrest somebody, but they released them. So they're out. I don't think they're on bail. I think they've been released, no charge. Anyway, so the Gardaí bring witnesses to the scene of a massive dig for missing JoJo Dullard. Now, I hadn't realised how huge the area is that they're digging up. So a source confirmed to the Sunday World that although there were no direct witnesses to JoJo's disappearance, there were people who had observed things in the days and weeks afterwards, who had subsequently spoken with Gardaí. So this is in County Wicklow in Ireland. Look what they've dug up. It's huge. This trench along there. Wonder why a trench like that. They've got an excavator there. And there's water there. And they've got this dug out this massive trench. And this is JoJo, of course. So this has been 29 years ago that JoJo went missing. But of course, her family, they still want her to be brought home. They want to bring her home to bury her, which is, of course you would. You don't want to think of your loved one just lying out there, buried somewhere, do you? So the witnesses' visit to the site came just days after after Superintendent Paul Burke had on Monday made a fresh appeal for information, saying Gardaí were convinced there were witnesses who could still come forward and help solve the murder, even though 29 years had now elapsed. We want to bring JoJo home to her family, he said. There are persons out there who know what happened to JoJo Dullard. Now is the time for those persons to come forward and speak. So when the Sunday World visited the dig site on Thursday, the scale of the excavations being undertaken became clear for the first time. So look at this. It's just huge, isn't it? A network of 5 foot wide and 6 foot deep trenches have been dug along the circumference of one field, with similarly deep ditches being carved up and down the field. So a source told the Sunday World that the scale of the works, including half a dozen excavators, is probably unprecedented in terms of carrying out a dig of this nature. One local source, where's it gone? One local source said it's unlikely that they would get another warrant for such an extensive dig on private land, so it's private land, in the future. So if she is down there, this is probably their best hope of finding evidence, and that is why it's so big and so thorough. They are in there now and they won't want to leave without turning over every stone in the search area. No one will be wanting to think next month or next year, what if? Gosh, it's huge. I honestly, it really surprised me when I saw it. I just thought, oh my God. So they've been given some resources and some, they've been funded, thank God. We really feel, On Thursday, the family of JoJo Dullard issued their first statement since the dig began, thanking Gardai and their neighbours for support. In it, they said, "We would like to thank everyone for all the lovely messages and prayers during this time. We really feel that both our local community and the country as a whole have been behind us every step of the way. We cannot put into words how much we appreciate and cherish this support." Gosh, well, you can't say they're not trying. I hope they find something. I hope that they do find something, because although, as we've said before, we can't hive on, we can't, JoJo can't be brought back to her family, but at least they can get some answers, can't they? They can get some answers, and that's so important. That would be the only comfort you could get, is at least, that your loved one was found, even though it's not good news, obviously, when they're found deceased. Same with Jay, wasn't it? But at least he was found. Those weeks when they couldn't find him, they're the worst time of all, aren't they? Not just not knowing. And then, of course, that's where all the speculation comes from. And, of course, with the Spanish police being so guarded in, not giving out any information, it does encourage speculation. Because when people don't know what's going on, they'll make it up. They will definitely make it up, won't they? So let's hope against hope that they do find JoJo. Please keep JoJo in your prayers and keep the candle of hope burning to help her find her way home. And as the search for JoJo continues, we're appealing for anyone with information, no matter how small, to please come forward. On November the 9th, 1995, so that's how long ago it was, JoJo was all alone and had no one to help her. You can help her now. JoJo has suffered enough and deserves to be laid to rest beside her mum and dad. We would like to thank the Garda investigation team for all their continued hard work and determination. Please keep them in your thoughts and prayers also, to give them the strength and resilience to persevere and bring JoJo home to us. Well, every day I say a little prayer that we're not only JoJo, we're all missing people, that they will be found, because for this thing, the families just need something, just a little crumb of cold comfort. But gosh, look at that. I'm encouraged to see this. So I don't know why they're digging along. That's strange, isn't it? Like a trench. Why, why not sort of this bit, or this bit? Why this bit? So I don't know what information they've had that has made them dig the trench like that. There'd be a reason. It won't just be because they felt like doing that. They'll have a reason why they're digging it. But I hadn't realised, when you see that area, I mean, it's a huge area, isn't it? It's massive. That literally is like looking for a needle in a haystack. So that, because so long has gone past as well, I don't know how useful cadaver dogs are after nearly 30 years. I just don't know what sort of smells would be left for them to alert to. I don't know how they conduct searches for, they'll just be bones now, won't it? But they're not only looking for JoJo, there's her personal effects that were with her, when she disappeared. There was particularly, wasn't there, like a Walkman type thing that hasn't been found, some sort of electronic device of the day, So, yeah, she was 21 when she went missing in 1995, and Gardai suspects she was offered a lift by a man who then killed her, perhaps in a sexually motivated attack. And I think it's difficult to remember sometimes how popular hitchhiking used to be. Not that I don't think I've ever hitchhiked, but having said that, I have accepted lifts. I've never, literally deliberately set out to hitchhike, with your thumb out like you do. But I have accepted lifts off people when I've missed my last bus home when I was, growing up in Manchester, 19, 20 years old, loads of times. God, you just think you are lucky to be alive, really, because, 99% of people that would pick someone up genuinely want them to get home safely. One guy that stopped and picked me up at a bus stop, God, when I think about it now, just makes you realise how lucky you are. I was lucky that he stopped me. He stopped at a bus stop where I was waiting for a bus that wasn't coming. I was really drunk. I'd missed my last bus, and he said to me, I don't think there's any more buses. I think you've missed your last bus. Do you want me to give you a lift home? Where do you live? And I don't even know where he lived, so I don't know if I lived in his direction or not. And I got in his car. Oh, God. I think about it now, I go cold. Anyway, he was fine. Took me home, dropped me off. He didn't try and come on to me or anything. He was probably in his 30s. And I was, as I say, probably 18, 19, maybe 20. He was not, just chatted to me on the way home. He just dropped me off. So, of course, he would have known where I lived then as well. God. Oh, my God. I didn't even think to get him to drop me off around the corner or anything. I was just grateful to get home. And, I was lucky. And probably 99% of people who would do that, you would be okay. Because most people are nice, aren't they? But she was unlucky. JoJo was unlucky. The person who picked her up was a twonk. So anyway, her remains were never found, and for 25 years, her death was treated as a missing person inquiry, and then it was finally upgraded to a murder investigation in 2020. Since then, Gardaí have had more resources, greater powers to conduct a large and deeper inquiry. So that's positive. On Monday, November the 11th, just days after the 29th anniversary of her disappearance, a search of 2 homes and land about 10 miles away in County Wicklow got underway and a man was arrested, but he was subsequently released without charge the following day. So they've got their eye on somebody, they just haven't got the evidence, have they? Oh, isn't that beautiful, that with the colours in the trees and everything? So, this is some sort of a mural up on there. It's a plaque on the wall in Moon, County Kildare, where JoJo Dullard was last seen alive. So this suspect had been on the radar of Gardaí investigating the case since its infancy, after he came forward and identified himself as one of the last people to have seen JoJo alive. So he identified himself. That's interesting. He has always denied any involvement in JoJo's disappearance or murder. There was no sign of the suspect in the locality on Thursday, and a vehicle barred the entryway to his home. It's understood that Gardaí only learned after his arrest last week he has been availing of psychiatric care in recent years. Well, I don't know who this man is, but what I would say to him is, just tell the truth now. Tell the truth. You've had 30 years of freedom that you shouldn't have had. Maybe you need psychiatric care because you need to unburden yourself, or maybe he's done things to other, we don't know all the details, do we? Maybe there's been some domestic violence, or maybe he's done things to other women. We just don't know. Anyway, a source described seeking records of any conversations the man had had with mental health professionals as a difficult ask. But he did not rule out the possibility that Gardaí have, are in the process of, or will in the future seek to obtain these as part of their investigations. And if you know anything about this case, contact the Garda at Naas Garda station, and there's a number there where you can ring if you know anything about it. Now, I know I have quite a lot of viewers from Ireland, so if you know anything or you think you can help in any way, you need to contact the police. But going back to that, you know, that is a big trench, isn't it? Hi, Heather. Yeah, probably was the 82. Hi, Julie. Now, before I move off, gosh, I'll just check the news, see if there's been any developments since I looked at that. Because it was this morning I prepared that article. Oh, that's interesting. So according to let's have a look at this tab. So apparently, according to this newspaper, or the KFM, which must be an Irish radio station, rubbish and open drain hypothesis drove fresh search for JoJo Dullard on the Kildare-Wicklow border. Maybe that's why they're digging in those trench type things. So the suspect, understood to be a member of a well-known family, was initially interviewed by Garda shortly after her disappearance. And investigators initiated a search of land after re-examining a witness statement that suggested rubbish may have been buried in an open drain on the property. So, according to the Irish Independent, one source said a witness who was involved in drainage work on the property was allegedly asked to bury rubbish in an open ditch before it was filled in. Oh, so that's why they're digging like that ditch thing. A second source said the search was carried out as the result of a definite hypothesis based on a reanalysis of statements taken from witnesses at the time she disappeared. So basically, that's where we are with JoJo's case. They're continuing search. Hopefully they will find something. Hi, Angel. I am here this time though, Angel. At least I am actually here. So, yeah. Let's hope they find JoJo, hey? Let's hope they do. And obviously, if I hear any developments, I'll be straight on to let you guys know what's happening in this case. So, what's the next thing we're going to talk about? So, we've talked about Jay Slater and the closing of the GoFundMe. And we've talked about JoJo and the searches. So next thing I'm going to talk about is Samantha Murphy. And there's, oh my God, the poor Samantha's family, because, you know, we looked, was it a couple of weeks ago, Patrick Stevenson. Let's have a look at him. I could show you a photo of as he is now, but I'm not allowed to do that, unfortunately. He doesn't, well, put it this way, don't look anything like this now, but never mind. He's, you know, he's like, now he's been in prison. Right, let's go back to the beginning of this story. So Samantha, of course, went out from Australia, Ballarat, Australia, one morning, went for a jog. Sunday morning, just never, you know, just disappeared. Didn't come home. I think she's 51, Samantha, mother of 3, wife to Mick, her husband, just disappeared. Anyway, although her remains have not yet been found, the police said, didn't they, that they thought she had been murdered. And then just out of the blue, after, you know, it felt like there was no progress being made whatsoever, they arrested this Patrick Stevenson, who at the time I think was 22. I think he's 23 now. His early 20s anyway. They arrested him for Samantha's murder. it was I think quite a surprise for the community, because Patrick, although he's a bit of a wild boy, like we've seen videos of him snorting cocaine and getting drunk like young people do. But he's like all Australian boy, sort of sporty, girlfriend, electrician, and nothing seems sort of untoward about him. And gosh, how different he looks now, because now he's put on a lot of weight while he's been in prison. Don't know when these photos were taken, but he's really filled out. I mean, he's massive. He looks, that last hearing that I watched was the first time that I've looked at him and thought, he actually does look pretty scary, because he's now grown one of those beards as well, them bushy type beards, but that don't meet up with the like sideburns. They're just the beard on the bottom of his face, like a bush tucker beard or whatever they call it. It reminds me of what a lot of religious people, the sort of beards that they have, really bushy. His hair seems to have gone darker. He looked really quite terrifying in the last court link that he appeared in. And really stocky, he's really filled out. Don't know if that's from the prison gym, or maybe he's had to, try and put some more muscles on, because although he's quite muscly on these other photos, he's muscly in a wiry way, whereas now he's like muscly in a brick sort of SHIT house way. He does look like a really sort of big guy. Looks like a completely different guy. With the beard as well. Anyway, he's in prison. He's not cooperating, is he, with the police? He won't tell them where Samantha's remains are. The police are still doing sort of random searches here and there. They found a phone not that long ago. Apparently, there's loads of electronic evidence. Anyway, and what Patrick has pled not guilty, and he's chosen to take a fast track trial, if you like. And the reasons for that are becoming evident, because now everything, otherwise, if he would have, we could have found out more by now about what evidence there is against Patrick, because we still don't know. And not only we don't know, but even Samantha's, husband, family, etc., they don't know either. What is the evidence? Why did they arrest Patrick? We don't know. All we know is there's apparently an unprecedented amount of digital evidence against Patrick. That's all they're saying. And because he's opted for this, well, it's supposed to be a fast-track trial. God, if this is a fast-track trial, I'd hate to see what a slow-track trial is in Australia. But because of that, it means that all the evidence is withheld, so the public can't know, we can't get to know the reasons why he's been arrested or what evidence they have against him, etc. It's all secret. So there was a court hearing yesterday, so it's gone to the Supreme Court now as well, but it's all secret, so we there's no. There wasn't a link that you could watch it on, like with the other appearances that he's made. It's top secret. And now we're just finding out what happened in it. Hi, Jean. Hi, Jean. Hi, Tracy. Yeah, car's all sorted, Angel. Thank goodness. Car's all sorted. My purse is suffering because... Anyway, but the most important thing is the car is sorted, even though it took hours, but it's done now. I don't have to do it again till next year, so that's good. So let me just put a couple of windows down from the things I've already talked about. And let's have a look. What happened in this hearing? So, yeah, there's another family that's cut. So as Christmas is coming up, which of course you know, I'm sure all of us have had some horrible Christmases for one reason or another. I'm hoping to have a nice Christmas this year again. Last year was a nice Christmas, but I've had some pretty shit Christmases, to be honest, over the years. But I won't be the only one. And nothing is worse than a festival like Christmas to remind you, you know, that you're missing a loved one, or you've got problems that seem unsurmountable, and everybody else seems to be having a great time, don't they? And you're miserable because of, for whatever reason. So nothing brings home misery, if you like, as much as Christmas does. So Christmas can be a lovely time, but it can be a terrible time as well for people. For some people, it's just a day to get out of the way. I've spent a few Christmases like that. Just get through it, you know. And then for other people, I've had these nice Christmases as well, where it's a day, you know, to be with your loved ones or your kids or, you know, friends. Or so I've had lovely Christmases too. Not every Christmas has been horrible, but I really do understand that, you know, how it's going to be for some of these families this year. And of course, Mick Murphy, Samantha's husband, and her 3 kids, you know, which range from really quite young. Her youngest one is, you know, around 10, I think. So, you know, they're young. There's Jess, who's the older daughter. She's a teenager. We saw her when she did the appeal with her dad right in the beginning of this case. No, so she's older. I don't know if that's better or worse. I don't think there is a better or worse in this scenario. But, you know, the little one, I think that'll be difficult, won't it? First Christmas. Well, for all of them, it'd be difficult. First Christmas without the mum, and the first Christmas for Mick without his wife, because of Patrick Oren Stevenson. It's all his fault. And he's just sitting there all stum. Like not cooperating. He's just waiting for his court case and thinking he's going to get off with it, isn't he? So I hope he doesn't. Good God. Anyway, so the jury trial of so he's going to have a jury trial of a man charged over the murder of missing mum Samantha Murphy will take place in the country Victorian region where she vanished. The mother of 3 vanished without a trace on the morning of February the 4th after leaving her home on Eureka Street in Ballarat, East Victoria. Her family reported her missing later that day after she failed to show up to a family brunch. Now, on Friday, her alleged killer, Patrick Oren Stevenson, fronted the Supreme Court of Victoria for the first time. So this was not available for people to look at. Do you know, like, whereas the other times he's appeared, I have been able to watch it on a link. But this one in the Supreme Court, this is probably why he's chosen this. It's him who's chosen this way. And he'll have chosen it because he knows there's the least information that can come out, you know. And I just feel for Mick, you know, because they're totally in the dark about everything. And this trial, even though this is a fast track trial, supposedly, it'll probably be late next year. They've probably got another year to wait, or almost, before they get some answers as to what actually happened. It's awful, isn't it? Appearing via a video link from Melbourne Assessment Prison, Stevenson pleaded not guilty to Miss Murphy's murder on November the 14th at the Ballarat Magistrates Court, and I did see that. I have got a recording of that. His plea, but I'm not allowed to show it, you know, but at least I've got it there. I can play it back and take notes from it. His plea meant plans for a preliminary committal hearing within that court were scrapped, and he was sent directly to the Supreme Court, where the matter is to be fast-tracked to trial. So, as I say, if this is fast-tracking, God knows what the slow tracking is like. So that jury trial has been penciled in to be held in Ballarat at a yet-to-be-determined time. And Judicial Registrar Tim Freeman told prosecutors and Stevenson's defence that Ballarat was the appropriate jurisdiction for the trial unless someone made a specific application to have it moved to Melbourne. So I wonder if he will ask for it to be moved. So now they're linking this. Do you remember the mushroom killer? Erin Patterson, we looked at that case, that woman that poisoned all her husband's family with beef Wellington. She was told also that her trial could be held within the local community where her alleged crimes took place. She's accused of murdering 3 people by serving a beef Wellington laced with poisonous mushrooms. But Stevenson's trial location is unlikely to provide any relief to Miss Murphy's long-suffering family who faced their first Christmas without her. And just weeks ago, her husband, Mick Murphy, put eyes upon his wife's killer for the very first time, alleged killer. And seated at the front of, saw Mick on the video, seated at the front of Ballarat Magistrates Court, Mr. Murphy glared at the video screen in court where Stevenson appeared. Now he's sporting long hair and a woolly beard. He appeared calm as he officially denied murdering Miss Murphy, whose body has still not been found. With his arms crossed, a relaxed Stevenson simply uttered the words, "Not guilty, Your Honour," when asked for his plea. Flanked by Crown Prosecutor Ray Gibson and Homicide Squad Police, Mr. Murphy refused to comment to a waiting media pack outside the court. And this was Mick leaving the court. He looked absolutely devastated. You know, when you look in someone's face and he just looked still absolutely devastated, to be honest. He really did. Hi, Admit. What, Dave, are you cooking for us all? Oh, hi, Chumba. Glad you're feeling better. Yeah, Patrick's definitely going down, I hope, but he's going to make it. The thing is, Patrick's going down, I think, but he's going to make it as difficult as possible for the family, isn't he? He's going to make, instead of just, going, getting some sort of redemption, if you like, by making it a bit easier for that family. Patrick is going to make it as difficult as possible. So he deserves everything he gets. Angel, you will have a good Christmas. I'll definitely be on at some point on Christmas Day because I think my son will probably be working, but we don't know yet. Got to wait till he gets his rota, but I would imagine he will be working. So at some point in Christmas, I'll be on. We'll be having a Christmas party. We'll have a little Christmas party one way or another. Anyway, just the build up to Christmas, we'll have some fun as well. So, but yeah, this twonk, he's going to make it really difficult for this poor family. Unless his parents can talk some sense into him, or maybe his parents believe that he's innocent. I don't know. They were all there on that court link that I was on. His mum was there, his 2 sisters, his girlfriend, so maybe they believe he's innocent. And this is when the police found the phone and the wallet. Let's have a look at this video. Black Friday. It's Black Friday today.
El imperio es frágil. Las grandes casas se disputan el control. Tenemos que
Well, we've got to sit through.
Hay una guerra oculta a plena vista y la guerra exige sacrificios.
Nunca habíamos visto un poder semejante. Podría destruir el imperio. El juicio ha llegado.
This was him coming out of the court. I think this is all it's going to be because he didn't make a comment. Yeah, didn't want to make a comment. Don't blame him. What can you say, really? So, on Friday, the Supreme Court heard that prosecutors had struggled to disclose all of the trial material to Stevenson's defence due to delays involved in analysing the contents of Miss Murphy's phone. The phone was retrieved on May the 29th on the muddy banks of a dam positioned along the Bunyan Mount Mercer Road in the same region. The phone last connected to a mobile phone tower before it went dark. And an image of the device pulled from the scene showed what appeared to be an Apple iPhone, contained in a wallet stuffed with identification cards. So we don't even know how the police came to find that yet. It's understood the focus of finding out what was on that phone put everything else in the investigation on hold. Detectives have been told to disclose everything needed for the trial by February. Oh my God. It's another 3 months. And that when the matter will return to court for another administrative hearing. It is then when it will be made clear if prosecutors plan to try and have the trial moved to Melbourne. Even with the matter fast-tracked to court, the actual trial might not still get underway until late next year. I mean, how awful for that family. So not only they haven't even got Samantha's remains that they can bury her, so they don't know... they don't know what's going to happen, and they won't know even till February exactly what's going on. It must be just horrible. A lengthy pre-trial is expected to take place throughout the opening months of next year in the hope of ironing out any potential issues before the main trial begins. So there's Mick and Samantha in happier days. Let's just have a look at this video. This is when they're still searching for her, I'm sure. But, where do you start? Where do you start?
¿Tu cliente lo quiere para mañana? No te preocupes, Truel Digital es la imprenta que lo hace posible. Entrega en 24 horas, presupuestos instantáneos y tiradas cortas. También te ayudamos a potenciar el diseño con acabados, tintas especiales y soportes creativos. Y todo esto a tan solo un clic en nuestra tienda online, Truel Digital, tu imprenta digital express.
Yeah, so this was a brief video of him search at the area, but which did result in them finding Sam's phone. So just such a huge area again, isn't it? I think we've come to realise, haven't we, that looking for bodies is hard. It's not like on the TV programmes where they find them quickly or whatever. It's hard to find bodies. So police, as the matter progresses through court, police appear no closer to finding Miss Murphy's body. They remain tight-lipped over how the investigation is progressing, advising only that the search for Miss Murphy's body continued. Large search crews have repeatedly ventured into the wilderness around Ballarat through the year without any success. It's understood that Stevenson, who was arrested 5 weeks after Miss Murphy was allegedly murdered, has not told the police where her body is located. So he's due to appear for a preliminary hearing at the Ballarat Magistrates Court in August. So it'll be next August. Even though some things will start about the trial in the early start of the year, he won't appear until August. Oh my God. Stevenson is the son of former FAL Richmond and Geelong AFL player Oren Stevenson and is not known, apparently, to the Murphy family. Now, I think we do have to remember his family as well, because, you know, they won't be having a great Christmas either, will they? But at least they can still talk to their loved one, can't they? They can still talk to their loved one. Whereas, of course, Mick and the kids, they can't talk to Samantha. You know, I mean, I know that it's horrible what's happened to Patrick's family to find out that his son is likely a murderer, just allegedly. Is horrible, but at least they'll be able to talk to him. And there's, you know, if he is innocent, and he gets found not guilty, they've got lots more Christmases to spend with Patrick, haven't they? Because he's only young, so, you know, at least they've got a chance of spending other Christmases with him. Whereas Samantha's family will never, ever spend another Christmas with her. So, yeah. Very, very sad. Hi, Deborah. Hi, BF. Oh, Angels, your first Christmas without little Alfie. Oh, don't. Oh, bless. Oh, dear, this is it. The trouble with Christmas is it's lovely in some ways, but it does, you know, it's so emotional, isn't it, Christmas? It's, you know, I can be happy and I'll be sad, you know, that's how it'll be. So we'll have a laugh and we'll have a cry and we'll have a silly quiz. And don't forget, on New Year's Eve, we're going to be doing Twonk of the Year. So don't forget to put in your send by email your nominations for Twonk of the Year. Yeah. Which reminds me, I haven't checked to see what's happened in this, if I've missed anything in the Sarah Sharif trial. I'll check that. There's so much news at the moment, I can't keep up with it. I should do do you know, I tried to actually, as I was driving from the garage to the ITV centre, which was like 45 minute drive. I thought, I could put my phone on, I could do a live, like just leave my phone on the seat next to me and, you know, just talk. Sort of. Anyway, I couldn't work out how to do it while I was driving, so I should have set it up before I started off driving. So I thought, it wouldn't be good that now I finally got the car sorted out that I end up having an accident or I get stopped by the police for using my phone while I'm driving and, you know, get a fine or whatever. So I sacked that idea. But I should do that a bit more sometimes when I'm on long drives or whatever. I can always, you know, just put the phone on like on a live and just talk about any old shite, basically. Yeah, lots of twonks, unfortunately, in this world. So basically, that's where we are with the Samantha Murphy case again. Sort of something and nothing. Again, we keep getting these little bits of, you know, things going on, but nothing comes to anything. And that twonk, Patrick Stevenson, he's doing that deliberately, you know, to sort of eke it out or keep it all low key, as little information as possible getting out. And I suppose that's what a good lawyer will do for you, you know, and I suppose that's his right. That's his right to do that. But it's so frustrating, and it's frustrating for us. So God knows how it feels for Mick and the kids, you know. It's just a horrible situation, isn't it? Okay, so where are we going now? So now we're going to look at I think what we'll do now is we're going to look at this poor lady that has been found. Found a couple of good few weeks ago now in Manchester, in a place very close to where I used to live in Chorlton Water Park. So that's where I was born, in Chorlton in Manchester. And the water park where this poor lady is, this is a reconstructed picture of her that's been made. This is what has been released just yesterday, I think, or maybe even this morning, I'm not sure. A woman has been found in it's like a water park, Chorlton Water Park. Let's have a look. Where's the article? Let me just put some of the other windows down. Yeah, let's have a look at this. I'll just show you these pictures. So this is what she was wearing. She was wearing this sort of green, it's like a basque, isn't it? Or is it a top? So does that suggest that it was summertime when she went missing? Because, you wouldn't wear that in the winter, would you? Because it would be cold. So does that mean to say it was summer when she went missing? Thing is, she was found in this water park, but the police don't know how she got there. They don't know how she got there. They don't know who she is. It's very sad, isn't it? Because how many people, like Samantha Murphy's family, looking for remains, if you like, looking for remains, knowing that she's out there somewhere and the remains can't be found. And here we've got a case of someone where the remains have been found, but we don't know who she is. So this woman, surely someone somewhere is missing her. Surely she had some family who are missing her, who maybe will recognise her from this, both from the reconstruction photo and, of course, this top is very distinctive top, isn't it? I mean, if your friend came round in that top, you would notice it. It's not it's not just a sort of black T-shirt that you wouldn't really notice. It's lime green sort of basque type top. You would definitely know. If you'd seen your friend wearing that, or your daughter or mother or whatever, I mean, because we don't know much about her, you would definitely, wouldn't you, remember that? You wouldn't forget that in a hurry. As somebody knows who this woman is. I think someone definitely knows who this woman is. So let's find the article. I've got an article up about her somewhere, which of course I've lost. Oh, never mind, I'll find one. Let's have a look at the BBC one. So, how police believe that the unidentified dead woman looked. A reconstructed image of the face of a woman whose body was found in a river 8 months ago. So 8 months she's been found, 8 months ago, and they haven't linked her up with a missing person. The woman was pulled from the River Mersey near Chorlton Water Park in Manchester on the 21st of March. Greater Manchester Police has released a facial reconstruction worked up by experts based on forensic information. Detective Inspector Louise Edwards said the force was determined to reunite her with her family and find the people that will be missing her. So here's Chorlton. I mean, it's a beautiful place. I've been there many times. I think I said before, I used to walk. I used to work, not work, what's the word? Do volunteer work for this charity where you take people's dogs for a walk, etc. One of my little dogs is looking at me now. Yes, I'm talking about dogs, not you though. And I used to take this little West Highland White for a walk. His dad, her owner, he had MS and he couldn't get out and walk. He had a lot of carers coming in looking after him, but he couldn't walk his dog. So I used to go and walk his dog. And, you know, when I think about it, it looks very desolate. Of course, this was, years before all Nicola Bully and all the other incidents of dog walkers coming to grief near rivers. But I used to walk this dog. Gosh, when I think about it, I was again about 19, 20. You don't have it, you don't think about those things at that age, do you? It never even occurred to me that I was in a vulnerable spot on my own as a teenager. Just never even occurred to me. It's a shame, isn't it, that these things, I feel like these things have been spoilt forever by cases that we've looked at. It's you can see it's a lovely place. Anyway, the facial reconstruction was created by FaceLab at Liverpool, John Moores University, after an anthropologist told the police her approximate age. It comes after the last police appeal in March when photographs of the woman's clothing were shared. She was found wearing a lime green Primark crop top and New Look jeans and dark green anti-slip socks. How can she not have been identified yet? It's strange, isn't it? Surely, was she trafficked or something? How has she not been linked up with a missing person? Anyway, detailed forensic DNA and investigative work was carried out over the past 8 months, and she's described as being from a European background. Now, when they say that, what do they mean? Do they mean British included, or do they think she's Eastern European? Anyway, she's about 5'1", so short, of a slim build and with dark brown hair, and police believe she is between 26 and 40. That's a big age range, isn't it? Although she could be older or younger. So this is Detective Inspector Louise Edwards. And she said police want to reunite her with her family. And the woman who had an elastic band and a hair bubble on her wrist. She had an elastic band and a hair bubble on her wrist. Is thought to have been in the water for 1 or 2 months before she was discovered. So I'm just trying to think, does it sound as if she was at home when she died? It sounds like she was, or is she someone who's gone off and done something to herself like Victoria Taylor? And of course, they're not sure exactly where she went into the river. They believe she may have entered the water in a surrounding area or region, with the River Tame and River Goyt both merging into the River Mersey. The cause of her death is being treated as unexplained, and further analysis of her body is due to be completed. D.I. Edwards said she could be somebody's mother, auntie, sister or cousin, adding that somebody out there will know who she is. 100% somebody knows who she is, because that top, that green top, is distinctive. Somebody, as I say, it wouldn't even have to be someone I think if someone walked past my house in that top, I would look twice at it. I mean, it's very distinctive, isn't it? It wouldn't blend into the background, would it? High moonbeam. I don't think it would, that top would blend into the background, would it? No. Someone who's missing, at the end of the day, somebody whose family member or friend is missing. and their friend had that top, you know, and looks like that picture, surely somebody will know who this woman is. You know, she can't be that unmissed unless the only person that maybe might have reported her missing is the person who's done something to her. If something has been done to her, we don't know that anything's been done to her. We don't know if it's foul play or not. The police are just saying it's unexplained. So she needs to be identified, and then I suppose then the proper investigation can start. So this detective inspector has urged anyone with any information to come forward. Even the smallest detail could help establish her identity. So if any of you know anything, you know, that looks almost like a photo. I mean, that's a reconstruction. Maybe she, you know, you can't rely on that 100%. Though they are pretty good at these reconstructions these days, aren't they, in general? So, you know, if you know anything or you think you know anything, let's have a look at this one again. You know, that's all we know. The green top, the jeans. Let's have a look at that picture. Yeah. Such a lovely place, isn't it? So honestly, I never look upon rivers in the same way, or lakes. Now I just look at them. I think how many bodies are in there. It's awful, isn't it? You know, water hides a lot of secrets, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, so I'm surprised they haven't given her. You know, they normally tend to give people a name, don't they, of some kind. I think she sort of reminds me of somebody I know. I don't mean that I think I know who it is, but, you know, just thinking what name I would give her. Bless her. So little prayer that she gets identified and her family get the answers, you know, that they need. They need the answers. So surely there's a family somewhere coming up to Christmas who is, you know, wondering where that girl is. You know, or it maybe they've not realised that she's gone missing. If she was a person, I don't know, 8 months, would you, even if you didn't see your daughter or your sister or your friend regularly, I think after 8 months that you hadn't heard of them, you would be, you know, thinking, oh, where are they? So I'm very surprised they haven't been able to match her up with somebody who's been reported missing. Very surprising that, isn't it? Unless she is somebody who's been trafficked and maybe she, you know, she's not got, what's the word? You know, she's not legally in the UK. And maybe that's why. Don't know. But yeah, 8 months is a long time to not be able to link up remains with the body. As I say, normally it's the other way around, isn't it? They're looking for it's missing people and they can't find the bodies. Here they've got a body and they can't find out who it is. So, where are we? So, now the last person that I'm going to talk about, unless anything comes up while we're on, is Hannah, of course. So this is a case we've been following, isn't it? Of Hannah Kobayashi, and this very mysterious case of this young Hawaiian girl or woman, she's 30 years old, just disappeared in between flights, flew from Hawaii to America, flew into Los Angeles, was supposed to be getting a connecting flight to go to New York to visit her aunt, didn't get the connecting flight, and the police have said that was deliberate, you know, she didn't miss the connecting flight. And this is one of the very few bits of information that they've let out about this girl, is her missing the connecting flight was intentional, according to the police. So why did she miss the connecting flight? And then she's been seen, her family seem to think she's been abducted by somebody. So in the meantime, not only all these, alerts going out, and it's all over the news in America what's happened to Hannah. And then the other thing that, of course, happened was that her father, Ryan Kobayashi, was there helping to find her and distributing leaflets and making interviews with her auntie. And he then threw himself off a multi-story car park. And nobody really knows why. Well, obviously he must have been at the end of his tether for some reason. His family have said that he just couldn't cope. He couldn't cope with all the situation, because there's a lot of conspiracy theories, rolling around, as there always are, because the police are being tight-lipped, which they have to be, because you can see that it's an ongoing investigation. So the quieter the police are, the more conspiracy theories and speculation, let's say. When people don't know what's happening, they normally make up some of it, don't they? It's probably a bit of human nature, to be honest. It's the sort of thing that once we would have done in the pub, wouldn't we? It might have been on the news. We might have read about it in the paper, and then when we're in the pub chatting with our friends or whatever, we'd talk about, oh, did you hear about Hannah? And that, have you heard about that case? And what do you think's happened? But now, of course, it happens online, and people, do it on YouTube channels like me, but and much bigger YouTube channels than me, and TikTok, and there's so much social media. So I think, sometimes social media is a bit like meeting up in the pub, but just with a lot more people, and people from all over the place, isn't it? Rather than, normally you'd just be meeting up with your mates and talking about it. But here now we're meeting up with people from all over the world who sort of become our sort of YouTube mates, and talk about it, discuss things. And it's quite nice, because if you're a person who's interested in true crime, just as if you're a person who's interested in motorbikes, or a person who's interested in celebrity gossip, your friends might not be really that interested in it. So you can't really talk to them about things. They don't like it like you do. But whereas with the internet, you can go on the internet, you can find a YouTube channel that does like the things you like to talk about the things you like talking about. And so it's sort of, it's nice if you want to talk about clothes, you want to talk about makeup, you want to talk about whatever, football, you can find somebody to talk to about it online. Whereas you might be, if your mates aren't really interested in football, but you are, you've got a problem, haven't you? So what we've got now is this situation that you just type in whatever it is you want to talk about, and you can find a YouTube channel, a TikTok channel, or something that you can sort of, not only you can watch, but you can join in the chat as well on the chat. So that's got its good things as well. It's good for people to be able to do that. But of course, as it's bad things, it's so difficult, isn't it, for the families, I suppose, hearing their loved one talked about, especially when it's in a negative way. And this is what the family of Hannah's father have said, that he just couldn't, all the things that were being said, because some things were being said about him. And it is hard, to me, I never even thought he was involved with it until he threw himself off the car park. And then you start thinking, well, why would he do that? So that's sort of puts into your head the idea that maybe he knew something. Why would he do that? I'm totally baffled. But that's just the way I feel, that I could not have done that, knowing that my child, I didn't know what had happened to them. I'd have to know, I can understand why he might have done it if he found out something terrible had happened to Hannah. I can understand that, why he might have done it. But to do it before you know what's happened, just it's a real surprise to me. So, but there you go. I wasn't walking in his shoes. So he's done it, and his family say that's why he did it, because he just couldn't cope with all the drama. Maybe he already had mental health issues, and this just sort of literally tipped him off the edge. I don't know. So, but this case is ongoing, isn't it? So we still don't know where Hannah is. So in the meantime, where is Hannah? And poor Hannah, because when she does hopefully re-emerge from wherever she is, it'll be to find the news that her father is dead. That won't be very nice, will it? So, it's a very strange and mysterious case, isn't it? Hi, Mello. Yeah. It is a very weird case, this. Well, it's funny you say that, Chumbra. I'm going to do something about Sebastian tomorrow. There isn't any proper news, just the usual drama a little bit. But yeah, there's a few. I've been meaning to do a video about Sebastian, sort of update, but no news in the sense of him being found, or I think someone was thought to be him and then it wasn't, and those kind of things. And the reward for Sebastian is now $200,000. Sebastian's case is another really strange one, and I found out. What's the T on? What's the T on, Jean? The dad's a T on. Oh, the dad's action. Yeah. I was thinking, is that some cult thing? A T on. The dad's a T on. Yeah, it is. His actions are a strange thing. That's what's made it stranger, I think. Like for me, I never even considered he might have something to do with it. I didn't even know that people were thinking that or saying that. What a horrible thing to say. But anyway, now that he's done what he's done, sort of you think, well, has he done that because people were saying horrible things about him? Or is there something strange? So there's lots of theories about what's happened to Hannah. So people are talking about cults. Remember this, oh God, what was the name of that cult thing? Twin Flames. That she might have been dated, met someone online and got sort of catfished. She made those strange texts saying that someone had done her out of all the money. Oh, your nails are too long, Jean. I thought you were going to say my nails are too long then. Oh, dear me. Yeah, I'm not sure whether, I think her father was in Hawaii, wasn't he? I'll try and find out in a minute, but let me give you that it's not really an update in the sense of Hannah's not been found, but a couple of interesting things. So first of all, she's, according to Jennifer Coffindaffer, let's just find her. She's not on the missing list. Which is strange. Let's see, Jennifer Coffin. So she put a post on X to say, where is it? Sorry, I'm just looking through her. So she says on X, let's have a look. Now I follow Jennifer on X because she gets some interesting information, that she seems to go at first. I suppose it's her contacts with the FBI. So she says there are 10,000 people who were reported missing in 2023 in Los Angeles. But Hannah Kobayashi is not on the LAPD missing list. Why? I don't believe she was found, and I understand they can't put everyone on the list. But why wouldn't you put her on it post haste? Their most recent missing should be posted as soon as possible for awareness. Is the lack of attention paid to their missing list an indication of their lack of attention to their missing? It's bothersome that their list does not list many that need to be found. So yeah, apparently she's not on the missing list. Now, why is that? I'm not sure. Oh, and then this woman's come on and said she's on the California list. Let's have a look. Hannah Kobayashi, missing person. All right, so she's on the California list. Missing since the 9th of November. Female. Date of birth, 24th of the 12th. Oh, God, her birthday's just before Christmas. Christmas Eve. Sex female, race other, because she's Hawaiian, of course. I don't know what they mean by other, but I don't know where that would fit with race. Height, 5'10". That's tall, isn't it, for a woman? Eyes hazel, weight 140 pounds, hair brown. Also known as Hannah Midori Eve Kobayashi. So Japanese. Sorry, not Japanese, Hawaiian, but that's a Japanese surname, isn't it? Or maybe a Hawaiian surname, I don't know. Scars, marks, tattoo. She has a tattoo of a knife on unknown forearm. What, people don't know which arm it's on? Other identifier, freckles on face, no dental x-rays available. And her date of last contact was November the 9th. Now, her sisters have spoken and said, sorry, not her sisters, her aunts. Let's see what the latest is. They have said that they think she's been abducted. Let's have a look at this.
Where is Hannah Kobayashi, the 30-year-old woman from Hawaii who went missing 15 days ago on her way to visiting her aunt in New York? Here's what we know. It was on Friday, November 8th, Hannah flew from Maui to Los Angeles and missed her connecting flight to New York. Saturday, November 9th, Hannah was seen at the Grove Shopping Mall. It's a popular mall in downtown LA where she went to a bookstore to charge her phone. Sunday, November 10th, Hannah went back to the Grove and was seen in the background of a video attending a LeBron James event. Then on Monday, the 11th, Hannah went back to the airport. At some point, she sent some very concerning texts. She was saying that she was scared and had been tricked, quote, into giving away all my funds for someone I thought I loved. That same night, Hannah was reportedly seen leaving the airport with an unidentified person. But later that night, surveillance video, which has not been released, shows Hannah at a train station also with an unidentified person. I spoke to Hannah's aunt a few days ago about the video. Take a listen.
There's no reason that Hannah would go there unless she was misled, unless she was forced to, or unfortunately now we're thinking unless she was drugged. It made us extremely alarmed to the point where we started sounding the alarm as loud as we could.
Oh,
What, after seeing the video, you mean?
Yes.
It's already such a sad situation, and now there's another twist to the story. Hannah's father, Ryan, who had gone to LA to search for his daughter, has taken his life. He was actually supposed to be on with me too and was feeling emotional, and now we find out that he has committed suicide. And now here to help us make some sense of all of this is former FBI agent, News Nation Law and Justice contributor Jennifer Coffendorfer, and Dog, the bounty hunter, who actually knows Hannah. It's good to see.
yeah. Do you remember we watched this video the other night? But I think we'll watch it again because it's interesting, especially because Dog, his daughter, knew Hannah.
Both of you. Jennifer, I want to start with you. You heard the aunt. She told me that they were disturbed by the surveillance video. The police showed the family surveillance video, but they haven't made the video public. But she didn't want to go into detail. She didn't want to interfere with the investigation. What do you think is going on here? What do you think that video might show?
Well, when you look at that timeline, there was always communication with the family. Her phone was always working. She actually took special steps to charge it to make sure it was working. But then on the 11th, the same time she's seen with this individual who's a stranger, and after some very cryptic messages came in, even mentioning deep state hackers, all of a sudden, she's missing. I think that piece of surveillance is critical, and I think she could be in the hands of a stranger taking advantage of her and the situation.
And Dog, you actually knew Hannah, which I kind of wondered about because you're from Hawaii. Hannah's from Hawaii. I know you've got a lot of connections there. What do you know about her?
Well, it wasn't me actually that knew her. It was my daughter, Cecily. And Hannah had spent the night 3 or 4 times with us in Oahu, in Honolulu. And then Hannah, moved on to Maui. But I agree with Jennifer 100%. We used to teach our real children there. We used to say stranger danger. And now it's getting, into, Hannah's 31 years old. All women beware. There are things happening, especially in California. There are things happening that are unbelievable. And, I think she was snatched. And one thing about it, I hope to God that she's still alive.
Yeah, I mean, we all do. Jennifer, just thinking the police haven't really said much. Dog says maybe she was snatched. You would think if that was the case, there would be press conferences. There would be flyers everywhere. They would be out every day saying, this is the description of who we think took her. We're not hearing much from police, Jennifer.
Well, the reason we're not hearing from them is because there is going to be video surveillance all over that airport, all over that subway station, all over these venues where she's been. So they're pouring all over that. Oftentimes when you see law enforcement reach out, it's because they don't have any more clues to go with. Law enforcement has a lot they're working with right now.
What do you make, Dog, some of the text messages that the family has said they received where she wrote, got tricked into pretty much giving away all my funds, deep hackers wiped my identity, stole all my funds, and have had me on a mind F since Friday? Do you think was drugged in that? I mean, why would she be is it her sending it, do you think?
Well, Cecily, my daughter, who knew her very good, there was no way. She might have smoked, which in Hawaii, weed is called pakalolo. She might have smoked some pakalolo as she got older, but she was very, very against drugs. And the text messages, again, Cecily said it doesn't sound like her. And it sounds like, I know a lot of ladies that join these dating places and then send money to the guy, and then he's not real. So I don't think that it was that. I think the text messages was not Hannah.
What do you make of the text, Jen?
Well, I agree. And I agree because of this. The family says they know her vernacular. Remember in cases like Anna Knezevich, or of course, Gabby Petito, where the family pointed out straight away, listen, this does not sound like anything that she would write. And that's what the family is saying here. It's not going with how she texts or her vernacular.
And what do you make, Jennifer? I mean, it's so tragic. I couldn't really believe it, but that the dad went to LA to help find her and then took his own life. I mean, how do you process that?
Well, he searched for 13 days, long and hard. And I can't imagine the grief that would overcome a father in this way. And so it seems to me that the motive would have been very clear, at least from his eyes, absolute despair and frustration. And you add on to that, Brian, and the family pointed this out, people not believing the family, people in social media actually going after the family, poo-pooing what they had to say, saying, oh, she's really not missing. She's just on some sort of venture or something like that. It was awful. And the family said, please don't talk like this. We're at a very a vulnerable state. And then look what happened.
Do you think they're going to find her, dog? I mean, how do you think this is going to play out?
Well, I think they are going to find her. We have a new administration coming in, and there's going to be a lot of police officers, defunding the police, especially in California. I'm doing a thing later this week where I'm talking to the cops, and don't worry, things are going to get better. They don't even want to pull over traffic tickets, because if they put the guy in jail, they're out.
So basically, that's just him going on about the new administration, but it's a real mystery, this case. And, of course, the longer it goes on, the less positive it looks, doesn't it, for a happy outcome? Well, there is no happy outcome because of what Ryan has done, Hannah's dad. Even if Hannah turns up tomorrow, safe and well, it's still not going to be a happy outcome, is it? And, what you're saying there, David, about the hazards of a woman travelling alone. It's so annoying that, because it's true, you've got to be extra vigilant. I mean, I think women can travel alone and be safe, but you've got to be so vigilant about everything. And this morning, I was thinking about it, because I'd basically, I'd planned the stream that I was going to do. I'd set off to the garage. Then went to the, but I was thinking about different cases and that while I was having a coffee, wait for the car to be finished. And I thought, God, nobody knows where I am now. They don't know which garage I'm at. My son was still in bed when I left, so he knew I was going to take the car to get it sorted today, but didn't know where. He wouldn't have a clue which garage I was going to, or he didn't know what time I'd left, or, and I thought, God, if I just disappeared, they wouldn't even know where I'd gone, because the last person I spoke to about where I was going to take my car was a friend of mine that I'd asked to give me a lift, and they couldn't because they already had plans for today. So I couldn't go to the garage that I'd originally planned to go to, which was good in the end. It worked out well, because I ended up going to this garage that only took an hour. That garage was telling me it would take about 5 hours to do. So I thought, God, when the police started an investigation, they'd be like talking to the person that had asked to give me a lift to the garage. They'd be saying, oh, yeah, they were definitely going to that garage because they asked me for a lift there, and they said they were good, because I then said, oh, I'll still go. I'll just, for a couple of hours, I'll just have a wander around. And, and then in the end, I thought to myself, oh, I can't wander around for a few hours, And anyway, that's how I ended up changing my plans. But yeah, it sort of occurred to me, and I thought nobody would know where I was last. When they started looking for me, they wouldn't know where to start. Nobody knows I'm at this garage. No, and then off I went to the ITV station. Nobody knew I was going to the ITV station because I wasn't supposed to be going today. I was supposed to be just trying to find out about getting the car booked in today for having the things that it needed doing. And I thought, God, nobody would have a clue where to start looking for me. So if it was like a question of time's running out, my time definitely would have run out, because by the time they found me, whatever was going to happen to me would have happened. But yeah, you've got to be so careful. You've got to be careful who you talk to. I always, as soon as I get in my car, the lock's on. because I know people who've, people have opened their door as they've got into the car and they're just about to drive off. Someone's come and opened the other door and stole a handbag or whatever, but they could get in the car and make you drive it off or whatever, I don't know. So that the thing is, you've got to be so vigilant as a woman, if you're on your own, or even if you're with anybody else, you can't think because there's two of you, that you're safe, because you're not. You look at Abby and Libby, in the Delphi case, they probably thought they were safe because they had each other. They were together. The parents probably thought, oh, well, the girls are together. You're not, so you've just got to be extra vigilant. But it's annoying because sometimes you want to go for a walk in the woods on your own. Why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't you go for a walk in the woods on your own? Why shouldn't you travel on a train on your own or wherever? But to me, I don't think Hannah's been taken by a stranger personally. I think Hannah's been taken by somebody she knows. Maybe she doesn't know them very well. Maybe it's somebody she met online, but I don't think it's some random stranger that has taken her away. I think she's probably gone willingly somewhere with this person and then something's gone wrong. Or maybe she is still okay. Who knows? I don't know. Just don't know. Yeah, you've always got to take your phone with you. Oh, thank you, Mello. Thank you. Yeah, phones. Your phone's important, isn't it? When you think about it, God, years ago, we didn't have mobile phones. Oh, I broke down once when I was on my way from, when I was living in Reading and I was going back up to Manchester, to visit my parents. In my car, it's like when you drive somewhere, because you just load up your car, don't you? You just put everything in. It's not like when you go on a plane, you've got to get everything into a 20-kilo suitcase. I'm taking my, I'm not, well, I wasn't, I never used to travel light. I do now, actually. I can travel light now. Completely different now from how I used to be, but I used to take everything. I had my cat with me. So I had my dirty washing, because, I was still young enough to take my dirty washing to my mum's. Might be living in Reading. I mean, not that I took it every week, but, I thought, I'll just take all my washing and I'll do the washing while I'm at my mum's. So I had my dirty washing, I had other stuff. I had my cat in a cat basket, a cat carrier thing. I had so much stuff in this car, and it was a really old car. And of course, it broke down, didn't it? Broke down right in the middle of nowhere, because I was going on the A roads, because I don't like motorways. I would have been better off on the motorway, because at least you can get to a phone on the motorway. So it's broken down in the middle of nowhere. I've set off with the cat in the cat carrier in one hand, and I don't know, probably my dirty washing or something in the other, some things. I took what I could out of the car and set off walking. And I came to this, there were two houses just out in the middle of nowhere, like bungalows, it was like a little country place. And there was a house on one side and a house on the other side of the road. And it was like, dip, 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 which house do I ring the bell? And I rang the bell on the one on the right-hand side. And this little old lady came. Well, I say little old lady, she's probably my age. Seemed like a little old lady when I was like 28 or whatever. No, she was a little bit older than me. She might have been in her 70s. And, you could tell she was really nervous. So I'm stood there, I've got the cat in the cat carrier and my dirty washing in the other hand. And I said, can I just come in and use your phone? I said, because I've broken down up the road. And, I need to phone for assistance, the AA. I was in the AA, but I needed a phone. And you could tell she was really sort of nervous about me. She didn't know what to do. Bless her, because, I could have had someone behind me, couldn't I? Like a guy with a bloody, I don't know, that would come in behind me and hit, you know, we could be planning to rob her. Anyway, she said, right, she went into the living room, I think, and she said, the phone's there in the hall. You can come into the hall, but don't move from the phone. And anyway, then she started, so I phoned the AA, and as we were waiting for the AA, she relaxed a little bit and she said to me, why did you pick my house? She said, because there's another house over the road. And I said, I don't know. It just looked more inviting. It's hard to explain. You know, her house just felt better. You know, when I was weighing up which house to go to ask for help, I ended up going to hers because her house felt more inviting. And she said, oh, you're not the first person that knocked on my door and asked to use the phone. So she lived on her own, this old lady, and she was really, the more I think about it now as well, that was really nice of her to let me in to use the phone because she didn't know me. I could have been a nutter, or I could have had somebody else there with me. It could have all been a plan to try and get in the house. I think the cat might have made... I think me carrying the cat in the cat basket thing might have made her realise I probably wasn't there to rob her. So probably wouldn't have it was a black cat, Lucifer his name was. Oh, he was lovely. I love that cat. Anyway, so, God, what happened? So the AA came, they took the car off to a garage. I don't know if they got me a taxi to the train station or they took me to the train station, and I had to get a train for the rest of the way with all this stuff that I'd taken out my car and my cat. And on the train, I let the cat out of the cat basket because this cat, most cats I've ever had, they've been like dogs. He was just wandering up and down the train and then just came and got back in the basket and had... Anyway, so I've forgotten why I started telling this story. So, yeah, we didn't have phones then. But I was lucky. You know, in some ways I think I've led a charmed life because I've had lots of escapades. I feel like loads of things have happened to me in my life, but I'm still here to tell the tale. But I quite often think about that little old lady because I think, I hope, you know, unfortunately, I don't expect, unless she's lived to a very ripe old age, that she's still with us. But, you know, I'm so grateful to her for opening the door and letting me in because it must have been quite scary for her. But honestly, listen, there's so many things have happened. If something can happen, it'll happen to me. Those of you that have read my Confessions of a Spanish Teacher book, that's nothing to what's actually, that's just the potted version of what's happened to me in my life. It's just, one of those things. That's why I quite like having a quiet time. I'm trying to keep my life quiet at the moment. Not get involved in dramas. I've had so much drama in my life. I've had enough drama to last me a lifetime. Oh, and that's what I meant to say in the members live last night. So any of you that are members and you want a copy of my book, I will send you a copy for Christmas. So, but what you'll have to, obviously I need your address because I have to send it through Amazon. So if you want a copy of my book, I don't know how it works I can't do it with Kindle because I can order it from it's a bit complicated because I'm the author. I can order it and send it to you from anywhere. So it doesn't matter where you are. I think I'll send it to any country as long as you've got Amazon deliveries because it's published on Amazon. So if you're a member and you would like a copy of my book, I will send you one for Christmas, but you will need to give me your address. So that's up to you whether you want to give me your address or not and have a copy of the book. That's my Christmas present to my members. I meant to mention it last night and I forgot. So, so that's where we are. One adult and a cat to Manchester. Can you believe I took a cat on the train? Oh my God. He was just wandering up and down. And of course we didn't have mobile phones then, otherwise I would have took a photo. I've got no proof I've got no proof. Everything's photographed these days. It would have been on my Instagram, wouldn't it? You know, Lucifer wandering up and down the train carriage. But yeah, that cat, he was lovely. But you know, I say he was lovely. What I found out recently, and that never occurred to me at the time, is he actually hated everyone except me. So a sort of an ex-boyfriend that I'm sort of in touch with that was from Reading, that I went out with when it was we were talking, we're still friends, and we were talking not that long ago, and he said, "Oh, do you remember that horrible cat you had?" I said, "What, Lucifer? My cat, my lovely cat." I said, "Oh no." He said, "Oh God, he was always like savaging me, and he hated everyone except me, Lucifer, because you know, he was just a typical black cat. He was just like, I've got a really good photograph of him with someone like really going for them. I must look out some photos. Maybe that's what I'll do at Christmas as well, is show you some daft photos from my life. But yeah, so I started waffling there at the end, didn't it? Okay, well, so let me put my email. If some of you I know will have already got my book, which thank you for that. You've been camping with a cat, Mello. That sounds interesting. The thing about cats is, another cat that I had here, that used to come for a walk with us. When we would go for a walk with the dogs, the cat would come with us. And when the dogs went to do their number twos, the cat would go and do its number twos in the same place as well. So cats can be just like, to me, I think with cats, they end up how you make them, if that makes sense. You can develop a real bond with a cat, a real affinity with a cat, but you have to, then other people don't, you know, they don't think cats are like dogs, so they don't bother making that bond. But I think I had a cat that used to wait for me when I got off the bus, when I came home from work. That was when I was about 19 and I lived in a bedsit. And this cat, he got run over in the end. I was heartbroken. I can tell you I was heartbroken. When I moved back to my mum and dad's and I went on holiday, and when I came back, he'd got run over. Anyway, can't talk about that. I get too upset. But Jasper, his name was, and I used to go off to work on the bus. He would follow me to the bus stop. They used to call me the cat lady in, you know, the neighbours. And then when I got the bus, how he knew, I don't know. He'd be sat waiting for me when I got off the bus when I came home from work. You know, cats are underrated, I think. Yeah. Oh, Tia, she's upstairs, Jean, because it's her turn. Because Tia can't be with my two dogs because she doesn't like them. So so we have to alternate them. You know, they get a couple of hours. My dogs get a couple of hours downstairs, and she's in my son's room, but he's gone to work. So, like normally, if he was in the room, she wouldn't be upset, but she doesn't like being in the room on her own. I mean, she's in a bloody bed, you know. And so she's having a whinge about it, and she'll probably carry on whinging until I swap them back over again after a couple of hours. Vicky Marie chats. Sorry, I was just putting the email. So yeah, if you haven't got a copy of the book and you'd like me to send you a book, if you remember, for Christmas, if you send me your address to vickymariechats@gmail.com, I'll give you something to read over Christmas. Oh dear. So yeah, cats. I mean, I can't have a cat now because of Tia. Because Tia is like, I call her an only dog because she's been with my son for a long time on her own. You know, she likes my dogs. If we're out having a walk, she's fine. But inside the house, she's so territorial, and you know, she's like got really nasty with them, to be honest. And she's such a gentle dog, like with people, but she doesn't. And she got attacked by a dog as well herself not long ago, or well, a couple of years ago now. Before that, she was fine. But, you know, over the years and as she's getting older. So then when my son came back to live here, I had a little cat called, God, I can't remember her name now. So I hadn't had her long. I'd only had her about a month, a little Siamese cat, Twinkle. Anyway, we had to find a new home for Twinkle because she definitely doesn't like cats at all. She hates cats. Most German Shepherds do, don't they, for some reason. It's like they're famous for it, not liking cats for whatever reason. So we had to get rid of Twinkle. Say get rid of her. She's gone to a really good home. She's like being spoilt rotten. She's fine. But my dogs, like at first we kept them together, but we would never leave them on their own together. But then she even got a bit funny about that. So even if we're all here together, you know, which would be great if she could just be down here with us. But she started getting a bit, you know, a bit bossy, territorial. And she doesn't like it when they're in the house with her. So, yeah, as I said, we went out for a walk. She's fine. She's really fine with them. She's no problem. But in the house, it's like, look, this is my house, she says. This is my house. Don't want you two other dogs in here. There's one of them she can just about put up with, but little Rocky, she hates him. Probably because he's the most dominant out of Rocky and Riley. Rocky is the most dominant, so she likes to be the dominant one, so she always picks on him. Whereas Riley, the white one, she's not too bad with him, but Riley's just like, you know, he's away with the fairies anyway, so she doesn't look on him as a threat, probably. Oh, you're introducing an 8-year-old kitten. Do you mean 8-month-old kitten? Do you mean so? You because admit, yeah, 8-week-old and 2-year-old. I thought, yeah. Well, you're saying that, David, but we had a bad experience with Tia, with my other dog from ages ago. And talk about mopping the blood up. We had to mop the blood up. It was horrible. So, yeah, because Tia, my other little dog, anyway, she was fine. And in the end, she died of old age. But gosh, she had a lucky escape with Tia. Trouble with Tia is, of course, she's so big for a start. And, you know, German Shepherds have got a really strong jaw. Oh, my God, I got bit by accident by her once. And it was an accident. She used to like, you throw a rock for her, she'll go, she likes picking up rocks. And I went to bend down to pick up this rock, and she went to get the rock, and she sort of she missed the rock and clamped down on my arm. Not like, it didn't bleed or anything. It wasn't like a bite like that. But, oh, my God, the pain. Oh, she's so strong. Her jaw is like a steel trap, honest to God. Any of you who've had a German Shepherd, you'll know that their jaws are so strong. And even when she's like playing with my son and he's like holding things up like for her to jump for, it's snapping like that. It's like The Walking Dead, you know, it's like, you know, very strong jaws, German Shepherd. So I couldn't trust her around the dogs because she might be all right most of the time. But if she just suddenly got angry with one of them, that would be curtains. So, yeah, you have your little chihuahuas attack the big dog, don't they? Yeah. Oh, dear. Hey, Laurie, did I say hello to you before? Can't remember now. Oh, we've nearly finished now, so I'm just talking about cats and dogs now. So I would love a little cat, but having said that, I say I would, but I wouldn't ever have a cat, an outside cat again, because they get run over, don't they? And they disappear and things happen to them. I've suffered so much trauma over the years from cats going missing or getting run over. I just couldn't cope with that again. So if I did get a cat, which maybe one day I will, it would have to be an inside cat. I couldn't let it out. And sort of part of me thinks that's not really fair. But maybe if I lived somewhere where there was a lot of campo. Oh God, I had a cat once got up inside the engine of my car. And it was a bit like Away with the Fairies, this cat. It wasn't quite all there, I don't think. Anyway, got in my car one day, turned the engine on, and this cat come running out from under the bonnet, scalped. Honest to God, how that cat survived, I don't know. Well, I do know how it survived because the fan belt came off the car. So luckily it didn't slice the cat up. It came off. I had to get it repaired. But this cat had got up inside the engine and I didn't know it was there. Anyway, that cat, I found a home for that cat on a farm. The stables, in the stables. My son used to go horse riding, and the guy who had the stables, he was looking for a cat to keep the mice down in the stables and what have you. And so I gave him my cat, Harry, that cat was called. Stop smearing him with cat food, yeah. The trouble, yeah. The kitten keeps licking the walls. Well, do you know what? Apparently, so I found something out there, Admit, about that, because what the Tia used to do, the German Shepherd, she used to chew the walls. She chewed holes in the walls. When she was, that's the other thing about German Shepherds. They're lovely dogs, but oh my God, they're right chewers. She's chewed through routers. She's chewed chargers. Oh my God, how many phone chargers I've had to buy when she was young, when she was in that chewing stage. But she used to chew the walls. And somebody told me, a guy, funnily enough, who came to change some locks one day, of all things. And I said, because he saw the hole in the wall, and he said, oh my God, what's the hole in the wall? So I said, the dog keeps chewing the wall. I don't know why. And apparently plaster on walls is got bone in it. It's made of bones, or it's got bones in it. But it's actually got bone in it. Apparently. And that's what they like. They like the bone in it. So that might be why the cat's licking the kitten's licking the walls. Maybe you can taste the bone in the plaster. Yeah, this bone, let me just look it up. Well, this is what he told me anyway, so I don't know. So when she grew out that phase, I had to fill in all these holes in the wall. What is plaster? Wall plaster. So it's coming up with the wrong sort of plaster now. It's coming up about with plasters that you put on bones. I can't find it or anything on it. Bone fresco plaster. I can't find anything on the internet. I'd have to look into it. Probably that's what he said anyway. So it's got some sort of bone meal in it or something. I don't know. Let's see. Well, it says here it's got hair in it. Lime, gypsum, cement, sand, hair and water. Hair. Yeah, animal hair. So maybe that's it. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just going by what he said, but it does say here that it's got hair in it. So that might be why. Gypsum. What is gypsum? She chewed your charger twice, but that's been it. So, you know, our dog, when my son lived in a flat, like didn't live here, she chewed through the router, the wires for the router for his internet. We had to get a new router put in and we had to get it put high up so she couldn't reach it. She's been through at least 5 chargers, beard chargers, you know, his beard trimmer charger, phone chargers, shoes, socks, just on it. Oh, she's had his passport, she chewed his passport up. I mean, I think she used to get bored a little bit because, you know, when he was going through sleeping phase, you know, like they do, where they never get out of bed. I mean, you don't get out, gets out of bed now because he has to go to work. But he goes through phases, my son, I think. Like, it's weird, really, because sometimes, literally he's like nocturnal. He's always been a bit nocturnal ever since he was a kid. He's always like, can I have an all-nighter, when he's had his friends over. But then he'll go for a stage where he's up like at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I don't like that stage, to be honest, because I like the fact that we have 2 different time zones in this house, because that's how we manage to, not argue. Because when I get up, he's up, that's really irritating. But I think when he lived in his flat, like when she would probably get bored, if he didn't get up early or whatever, I think that's why she used to do it the most. She's been a lot better since she came here because she gets, more attention in the day. But she's lazy as well. I mean, she's really lazy. Of course, she's older now, so it's different. When she was younger, she probably wanted more attention. Anyway. Oh, I love kittens. I love kittens. Oh God. Well, have you got a Christmas tree up yet? Because kittens I've had, they live in the Christmas tree, don't they? They love it. God, once you put the Christmas tree up, the kitten just has a brilliant time with the baubles and living in the tree. I've got some photos of my little white cat Angel when she was a kitten in the Christmas tree. Oh, yeah. Kittens, honest to God, they're so much fun, aren't they? They're just so lovely to watch. Right, well, you'll have fun with your Christmas tree with your kitten, I admit. You'll have to send some photos. Send some photos when you're sending your Christmas photos in for the Christmas special. Yeah. No, he made me want a cat now. Well, I can't have one. I can't have one because that cat would be a little Scooby snack for our dog. So I cannot have a cat, unfortunately. One day I'll have another one. Okay, so there were the updates. I've ended up waffling on about bones in plaster and dogs chewing stuff and God knows what. But I feel Christmassy now, but I don't do any Christmas. You won't. Oh, it's 1st of December on Sunday, isn't it? What day are we on now? What day is it? God, I've forgotten. Well, it's Friday. Oh, so you might see a Christmas tree up on Sunday when I do a stream on Sunday. That's when I start doing Christmas things. And I will have a Christmas jumper on, maybe. stuff like that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. A good waffle. Yeah, send anyone who's got. Oh, I'm not going to wear the wig. The wig's gone in the bin a long time ago because it was rubbish wig anyway, unless I get another wig. But I don't think so. But I will be wearing Christmas. Oh, yeah, I'll be Christmassy, definitely. From the 1st of December. I will be Christmassy and I will have something Christmassy up. I might need to change things around so I can have the Christmas tree behind me. It's not a proper Christmas tree. It'll be a synthetic Christmas tree. Same Christmas tree as last year. So, but it will be something. Okay, so that's it. I'm going. I've been talking that much. I need a bathroom break now, but I'm going to go anyway. I'm going to get a nice cup of tea. Can't have a drinky poo, even though it's a Friday night, so I've got to go and pick up number one son later. So I have to wait till tomorrow. I don't think he's working tomorrow, so I can have a little drink tomorrow. Okay, so I'll see you really soon in the next video. Thank you for caring about these cases. Thank you for caring about Hannah. And of course, Jay and Samantha and the lady that we don't know who she is, the lady with no name. And thank you for caring about JoJo. And let's hope there's some news soon for some of those families. So take care. I'll see you really soon in the next video. Don't forget to like. And if you're a member of my channel and you would like a copy of my book for Christmas, but you obviously you have to give me your address, send it to VickyMarieChats@gmail. Bye. Adios. Oh, until I see you again, may your God go with you. Thank you.